This is my very first camera, a Brownie Instamatic. My parents gave it to me as a gift when I was 6 years old. And remarkably, I think it still works. Camera technology has evolved dramatically since the days when I was using this camera, and photography has never been more ubiquitous. But the power of a single image remains just as strong today as it's ever been. In this video, we're going to talk about photography equipment, both the cameras and the accessories. You know, there's almost nothing more confusing these days. There's so many different kinds of cameras, and they've got different lenses and all these components, tripods, and flashes, and cable releases, and filters. So many people think that you need a big fancy camera in order to get a perfect picture. But that's simply not the case. You may have heard that the best camera is the one you have with you. And for most of us, it's the cameras in these mobile devices, our smartphones. Because these are the cameras that we have with us, we have an unparalleled photographic spontaneity. We can take pictures in the moment with greater ease than ever before. With a basic understanding of the principles of light and composition, a camera as simple to use as an iPhone can produce imagery just as evocative as these fancy cameras here. That said, each of these kinds of cameras has its own advantages. For example, this much heavier digital SLR will yield much better low light performance. And this compact camera, which still fits in a pocket or a purse, gives you much more control than you'd ever have with your iPhone. I suspect on the kinds of travel photo trips that we would share, all of these different kinds of cameras will be put to use, and I think that's absolutely great. For myself, as a veteran of, well, quite a few of these travel photo trips, I have a few suggestions that I'd like to share with you today. Batteries. Bring a couple of extra batteries with you, along with a charger. And just be a little bit attentive to the kind of outlet. You may need one of these international adapters. Memory cards. They're getting less expensive all the time, and they're really important. Bring a few extra. If you're traveling with a computer, I know some people bring external hard drives and download their memory cards on the road. And the external hard drives these days, they're not expensive and they have tremendous capacity. And for those of you who are a little bit vintage, this is what memory cards used to look like. It's comes in a little box called film, and I've still got a few extra rolls if any of you would like to buy one. You know, I use this camera a lot, and I keep it in this protective bag. For one thing, the sides are good and strong, and it's got a zipper on top. Fits snug, but it fits well. And when I'm done using the camera, I can just zip it closed so nothing falls out. Incidentally, this pocket, which is the easiest to get to, look, this is where I keep my extra batteries and my extra memory cards. And when I'm done with that, I just zip it closed so nothing accidentally falls out. As we'll discuss later on, long exposures allow you to make beautiful pictures when there isn't a lot of light. But to do this, you have to hold the camera steady. Certainly, the most versatile way to hold the camera steady is with a tripod, one of these. This one's small, but it's heavy. It's also sturdy enough for this big heavy camera here. Smaller cameras, like this little guy, look, smaller tripod, very lightweight, but still holding the camera steady, which will allow you to make long exposures and really improve the versatility of the kinds of images you can make on the road. And finally, flash. You know, my iPhone has a flash, my compact camera has a flash, my little Sony camera has a flash, but my biggest and fanciest camera, no flash. So if I'm going to use a flash with this camera, I have to bring one with me. That's called an external flash. Keep in mind, it's another thing to carry. Not only that, it's another thing that uses batteries, so you got to bring more batteries. You know, it's important to realize that a flash can be a bit intrusive, and so there are many museums, for example, that don't let you use a flash. There are also at sporting events or particularly cultural performances where a flash would be very intrusive. So it's important to realize that in addition, for these other cameras that have a flash built in, it's good to know how to disable the flash so that you don't inadvertently disturb the continuity of an event. Now that we've discussed a little bit about the gear, let's learn how to use it. And I think the best place to start is with composition.